All point of views expressed on Shop Talk 360 are solely the point of views of the individuals and do not represent any company, organization, or group. Shop Talk 360, the industry's dedicated platform for commercial design, construction, and facilities. With more than 25 years building for national retail brands, an award-winning and best-selling author, keynote speaker, industry coach, and event producer, here's our host of Shop Talk 360, Grace Daly.
Hey Shop Talkers, welcome to our show. Very excited to be here in South Florida with my very dear friends, Isyol Cabrera, Director of Design and Construction for Carvel, and Hope Condit, Franchisee Business Consultant for Carvel. Hi ladies.
Yay! Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for being here with us.
Oh, I'm so excited. And
I'm so excited.
By the way, I'm sure everyone knows Carvel. Carvel is one of my favorite places, as I shared with you earlier. Wonderful, wonderful childhood memories. And I hear you're coming into some of my local neighborhoods down here in South Florida. So very excited.
Thank
Coming
you.
soon to a neighborhood near you.
Yes, great. I love that, Issy. As we chat now, I'm always so interested in your point of view, especially as a women leader in our industry. So I'll start with you, Issy. Maybe you can share with our listeners a brief history of your career path.
Sure. Okay, so I'm originally from South America, Venezuela, Caracas, to be more specific. So I moved to the States probably 13, 14 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I came here originally to just go to English school.
Wow.
And I really like it, so I obviously stayed, but I was lucky enough that the company that I was working in my country had a big presence here in the United States. Mm-hmm. So, and I was very familiar with the vice president of the main location in Miami, Florida. Mm-hmm. So I called him, I talked to him and say, hey, I really want to stay. Do you have a job for me? I will really appreciate any help that you can give me. And he was more than welcome. He's like, yeah, sure. We have an open position for you. So if you want to take it, it's all yours. And that's where all my adventures here started.
Wow.
So
I love that.
Very excited.
And so then some of the brands you worked with prior to Carvel?
Prior to Carvel, my first work was with Studios Naidero, which is an Italian interior design company that usually do kitchens and closets and stuff like that. So it was basically interior design, which I love. And then after that, I went to work with an architecture firm, which was a consultant for Starbucks.
Oh, okay.
So I did a lot of Starbucks. Uh-huh. And so then the recession hit, so it wasn't, I wasn't working for a little bit. And then the company called me back, this architecture firm called me back, and then I was working for Old Navy and Gap and Banana Republic, also Urban Outfitters for a little bit.
In the design process?
In the design process,
okay.
Yeah. And then I went to work for Church's Chicken in the restaurant industry as a QSR. So that was my first food experience in the restaurant business. And then I absolutely love it. And then I work for Carvel now.
Wow, that's wonderful. And I know this is probably a tough question because it's like asking who your favorite child is. But if you had one favorite role, and maybe it's your current role, which is your favorite role?
My current role.
Okay.
And it's because I get to have my hands on the whole process from the very beginning to the very end. So I'm talking with the franchisee from the very first moment. He has the thought that he wants to open a new store, or he wants to remodel his store, or he wants to open a second store. So I'm there from the very first day to the day that they're open. So I have control over the whole process.
Wow,
I get to work with so many people within my company, and it's just great to just see the project in paper and then see it in reality, in person, to get built. Is very, very satisfying.
Very, very cool. Yes, and you're actually helping so many franchisees fulfill their dream of owning a business,
Yes.
a brick and mortar business. Very, very cool. Now we're going to turn over to Hope. Hope, you have a very interesting background. As a consultant with a trainer background as well too. So share with us your career path.
Okay, so after college, I actually just started working in a Carvel store, and I fell in love with everything from owning a small business and being a franchisee to, running a food establishment. So after working in Carvel for several years and understanding how the business operates, I came to Focus Brands and I worked in the training department and trained new franchisees and did all aspects of the training, and then I moved into an operations role. So now I'm a franchise business consultant working all over the U.S. helping Carvel franchisees operate their business and really grow and become successful ice cream stores.
That's very super cool. So I think we mentioned this over dinner earlier. So your involvement with Carvel has been how long? Is it 14 years?
Yeah, it's about
Wow.
14 years now. Yeah.
That's awesome. That is super, super cool. I can't think of another retail store location that I'd rather be at for 14 or involved with for 14 years than Carvel. Very
It's
cool.
so much fun, and it has evolved and changed in 14 years. It's the same great ice cream, but it's really a fun business to be a part of.
Okay. And again, probably very satisfying to be there, kind of holding the franchisor's hand and helping them along where they need it.
Yeah, helping them grow and really become successful.
Love that. Love that. I wish more franchisors would be more involved with their franchisees. That's not always the case, as I found out in past interviews with other folks. So that's great that Carvel is so focused on supporting the franchisees. Okay, now Hope, I'll ask you our second question. So as a women leader in our industry, in your specific role, do you feel women have a different set of challenges than men do in our industry? And if so, what are some examples of these challenges?
Yeah. I think specifically in my role, it's definitely a challenge being a woman because not everybody wants to take business advice from a woman.
Oh, I didn't think of it that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and we're really called on to be experts and to be, in that supportive role, but to really be the expert in the Carvel ice cream business. And not everybody wants to hear that from the mouth of a woman. So it can be really tricky to build that trust and earn that respect and relationship so that people, take you seriously and want to hear from you and really respect what you have to say.
Absolutely. And I'm sure, too, when you share with them or if they hear that you've been involved with the Carvel brand for over 14 years, I'm sure that kind of...
It does help. It gives you a little bit more credibility. I think a woman with less experience would have significantly more, hurdles to cross.
That's a very interesting point. Okay, very, very cool. Now I will turn the mic over to Issy. Issy, as a woman leader in our industry, do you feel women have a different set of challenges than men do in our industry? And if so, what are some examples of these challenges?
Yeah, like Hope said, on the design world, I think that we are all well respected, and I think people really take in consideration our opinions and our suggestions. But when it comes to construction, which is a man field, mainly, I mean,
still predominantly
it's
men.
still predominantly,
Yes.
So it's very difficult. You really have to prove yourself every day. And at some point, people know that you know what you're doing and what you're talking to them and what your suggestions are and stuff like that are taken in consideration. But you definitely have to prove yourself more than a man. And I see it pretty much every day on my field because I have coworkers that they're men and they're doing exactly the same that I do. And I have to talk to franchisees over and over and over about the same subject. When my coworkers, they're men, they're just like, oh, this is what you have to do, and that's it. There is no discussion about it. There is no argument about it. There is not, well, let's see about this. Well, let's see about that. There is no double opinion or let me check with my contractor. Let me check with my architect. It's like, I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for 15 years now, so I have a little experience. So not because of I'm a woman doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yep. Very interesting. And also to share too with my retail background, I remember when I started a long time ago, 20 years ago, as a project, 26 years ago, as a project coordinator with Blockbuster Video, I was a project coordinator. But even when I got my first director's title, I think I was with Vitamoral, that was in 98 or 99. There still were not a lot of women in the industry. Now there seems to be, more, but still, we're still the minority.
Yes.
So I totally can concur your feelings. Okay, so now Issy, in the last 25 years, with more and more women joining our industry and growing into leadership roles, such as yourself, yay, you represent, I love it, across all disciplines of design, construction, and facilities, how do you feel this has shaped our industry?
Oh, it definitely is making a difference. It's making a huge difference. I think that every day there's more and more women involved in construction and design, and it's great because you have this support group that knows exactly what your struggles are, and then you have mentors. Like, I never thought that I will have a woman mentoring me about construction. It's like, I have a boss, and usually it's a man, but I mean, my last job at Church's Chicken, my boss was a woman, and she was an excellent mentor, like incredible supportive, and she challenged me every day, and I think that's what we need, like to support each other, to challenge each other's every day, to mentorship. I mean, there is always these things about women that I was like, we just want to step on each other and we don't care about growing in the professional group. No, that's not all true. I mean, there is a lot of women out there who wants to mentor and to want to teach and learn from others. So it's definitely a change in the design construction world with women in the leadership position.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yes, and I know I've been to a bunch of the conferences, women retreats in particular, and it's interesting. There seems to be a similar feeling with women in the industry where I do believe that by nature we're better multitaskers.
Yes.
And we're better with details.
We're better with organization.
Organization, yes. But also, too, we tend to take on and just want to do it ourselves. Whereas I believe, and I may get some people angry out there, whereas I believe some of the men like to delegate more.
Yes.
But that's just kind of like the trend I've noticed.
I think we like to keep control of every detail just to make sure that everything gets done the right way the first time. And I think it comes back to that we were talking, I think, on the first of the second question, that you have to prove yourself.
Yes.
We still have to do that.
Constantly.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So I think that goes hand in hand together, like, we're in a leadership position, but I still have to defend myself about every decision that I make, and why I did this, and why I didn't do this, and why we're using this vendor instead of this vendor, and why we're using this type of floor instead of this type of floor. I mean, I go through that every time we do a remodel or a new project. It's like I get called from the franchisees. It's like, I can go buy the same floor at the Home Depot. It's like, no. It's not the same floor. Let's go through the specs. Let's go through the standards. So, it's kind of like, oh my God, how many times we have to do this? But, it's part of the process, and it's definitely, we're getting there. We are getting there. It's just, it's gonna take a little bit. But
yeah,
we're
still
there.
evolving.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, very cool. Now, Hope, in your specific industry of training and operations, would you say it's more male dominated?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And, I would say in the last 25 years, the really great thing with having more women come into businesses and stuff like that is a lot of these businesses, even food, restaurants and organizations like that, it's product and food geared towards women, and yet we have men running and leading and making the decisions
Very good
for
point.
the woman customer.
Yes.
So I think as brands and companies grow and pull in more women, it'll make their product and their food more attractive to women, more accessible, and more a product that women want to participate with. So it's really a benefit for companies as, you know, they include more women in the decision making and in the process. You know, they become a product that's better, well-rounded, and reaches out to many different demographics and genders.
Love that.
And I also think that we make everything more personal too. You know, like is our project like it becomes not personal in the point, on the sense that, you know, we cry about the project or stuff like that. Is something that we want to develop, and we want to develop the right way, and we want to make it successful, and we want to see it grow. You know, it's like our
make
baby.
It relevant to
Yes.
all people and people that are like you.
Yes.
That have your same experience.
And we also bring a different perspective, you know, because as a woman, you know, we can be completely career oriented, but we also are mothers, we are sisters, we are, you know,
daughters taking care of our aging parents.
Yes.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we bring a different perspective that maybe, you know, it wasn't studied before. It wasn't, you know, that somebody wasn't paying attention for it, or it was suggested before, and so, oh no, that product won't be good for us, or whatever. I think, you know, like the possibilities that the open mind that a woman brings is completely different from what a man can bring.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anybody.
No, these are all your personal opinions.
Yes.
And your point of view. So no, I'm sure you're not. Okay. And now the next question, I'll start with Hope. Hope, what is the top advice you can give to a newcomer in our industry? And does this same top advice apply if the newcomer is a woman? And if not, what's your top advice for a woman newcomer?
Okay.
That's a very
good
long question.
No,
Sorry.
you know, I think the thing is, the number one top advice, men, women, no matter who you are, is to have confidence in yourself. We all bring a great perspective, and that's something that I really respect about the team that I work with. It doesn't matter how long you've been there, who you are, what your age is, or your gender. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear your opinion, because it's in hearing all those different, you know, it doesn't mean that that's what you're going to do, but in hearing those different viewpoints that really makes something rich and helps you develop into something that is of more value. So it's just to have confidence in yourself, no matter what position you're in, to, you know, give your opinion, to stand up, and to be a champion for what you're doing in a way that, you know, makes you proud and, you know, gives you meaning every day.
I think that's so important. It's like you said, it gives you meaning every day, you know, so it's taking ownership. But to earlier to what you had mentioned, it's almost like ensuring to have your voice.
Absolutely. Yeah. Our voices are the most important thing, and they help really develop all these products and brands and things that we are a part of. And it's a great thing to go to bed at night knowing that you're a part of this great big thing, and that you're an important and an integral part of that. So stand up and be heard, and be proud of what you're doing.
I love that. And would that be the same advice? So that's advice for everyone?
Male or female. Yeah,
Okay.
but especially women. I think there's this feeling of timidness, especially when you're young. Certainly I was a lot more timid, but you know, it doesn't matter who you're talking to, what their position is. We're all people, and we all have a lot of value to offer. So don't be afraid to give your opinion and to offer that.
Okay, I love that. Issy, what's your advice?
Yeah, I don't think there is a difference when it comes to advice for men and women. I think I totally agree with what Hope said. It's like, just believe in yourself, you know, like just follow your gut, follow your heart. I mean, you studied really hard for something that you really believe in. And now you're out there in this big world trying to make something of yourself. Just believe in yourself. I mean, don't let anybody tell you that you're not good at what you do, that you're not, you're never going to make it. It's like, no, that is not true. You are going to make it because you are smart. You work really hard. You have a very good ethic. That's very important. Like, don't lower your standards. Like, you have to have standards. And if for some reason somebody asks you to lower that, say, no, I'm not going to do that. Respect yourself. I think that's very important. Respect yourself. Like when Hope said that she was very timid when she was younger, it's like, I don't think that I had that problem. I always voice my opinion very loud, and everybody who knows me knows that. And I think that's the Latina part of me. But I always voice my opinion, and sometimes get me in trouble. I mean, sometimes gets me in trouble. But if I believe in something, and I believe that what you're saying it doesn't go along with the plan we have, I'm gonna tell you. Like, hey, this is not what we're here for, or I don't agree with this, and this is the reasons. Like, I'm not going to tell you, well, I don't agree with that because I just don't feel like it. No, you have to have a reason.
Sure.
You have to have a valid reason, when you have an opinion. And that's something that found your voice, found your inner voice, and express yourself and let people know that you're there. You want to make a difference, that you're part of that. So don't let anybody tell you that you're not going to be that you are not going to grow, that you're never going to make it, because that is not true.
People want to work with people who care and who are genuine.
Yes.
So if you care and you are genuine and you bring that, that is going to get you so much further than a lot of things in this world.
Well, ladies, I mean, this is so inspiring speaking to both you, Issy and Hope, because I think what's going on in the industry now, just from, past interviews, and I talk to people, not just for interviews, but I talk to people all the time. And there just seems to be a lot of hesitation in our industry. Don't want to rock the boat. Be grateful you have a job. Like, let's just stay under the radar, and to Issy's point, like, you have a talent, you have a strength, just go do it. And to your point, Hope, you want to own it, and have your voice to express. So very powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I know your words will definitely inspire and reignite some folks who have been in our industry for a very long time, not only just the newcomers.
Sure.
So,
like, I think, for example, in my personal experience, I've been very lucky to have very good role models as a boss, or as a manager, or as a supervisor. Like, I always had a boss that support me, like mentor me, like help me to grow, like, like they never say, oh, you're not good for this, or you cannot be involved in that. Like, I was eager to learn. Like, I want to have my hands on everything. Like, I want to understand how everything works. And I've been very lucky on that part, because my bosses, they're always pretty much just like, oh, you want to learn about this? Sure, let's learn about this. Or you want to help on this? Yeah, let's do this. And I think that's how you get to develop your career path, and also develop as a person, as a professional.
absolutely. All right, now our last question, one of my favorite questions, and we'll wrap up in typical Shop Talk 360 fashion. I'll start with you first, Hope. If there's one word to best describe your experience as a women leader in our industry, what is your one word and why?
I think it has to be a tenacity. When you have a lot of things stacked up against you, you have to be a go-getter. You have to be willing to take that risk, to clear those hurdles, to take that next step. And a lot of times you will fall on your face. Sometimes it will be really embarrassing. But I mean, people respect those of us who, take those steps, go the extra mile, really put yourself out there. And that's the way you learn and you really propel yourself forward. I think that's the greatest thing that I've learned in my job experience, is just having that tenacity.
Okay, I love that word, tenacity. Issy, what is your one word and why?
I think my word is discipline. You have to be disciplined on the design construction world. It's a very detail-oriented career path. you have to be disciplined in all the aspects of this. You have to have a plan. You have to follow that plan. There is a lot of that depends on you. You know, like if you're building a restaurant, you have an opening day, and if that gets delayed, a lot of things gets delayed. So you have to be disciplined, follow up with everything, keep track of everything, and get help. You know, it's like, don't be afraid to ask for help. It's not a weakness. It's a strength.
It is.
When you ask for help, you get surrounded with people who wants to learn, people who wants to help you. So that's the way you grow in this industry.
I love that. Discipline.
Discipline.
And tenacity.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, and with that, we are going to wrap up this show. So very excited to see you ladies, and I'm sure I'll be seeing a lot of you because there's a couple of Carvels coming up in South Florida.
Yes.
I can't wait. Okay, wait, one more question. Only because I love Carvel. Okay, my favorite Carvel is always soft serve vanilla with rainbow sprinkles. Issy, what's yours?
Anything with pound cake on it, I'm game.
Oh, that sounds yummy. Hope?
I think right now my favorite is a traditional black and white milkshake. Vanilla ice cream, chocolate syrup. It's perfection.
Love it. Great. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me, and I will chat with you again really soon. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining Shop Talk 360. Real conversations in the commercial design, construction, and facilities industry. You can reach out to us at grace@gracedaily.com.